So we are live for the very first edition of my brand new podcast and brand called the Forward Standard,
Yes.
Voices That Matter. And I am coming to you live from the Veterans Affairs Hospital in La Jolla, San Diego, California, with my friend Alyssa Gomez, who I actually just recently met probably a month and a half, 2 months ago up in Orange County, Los Angeles area. And the frank truth and honesty about this is we barely know each other. So we do know we share a lot in common. She's an amazing, driven individual who's very successful in a lot of ways. She's a mother, and I am looking forward to learning more about her with you guys. So, Alyssa, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's so great to be here. First of all, I'm excited for this first episode. So it's an honor. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Alyssa. I am first generation born here. My first language was Spanish. I'm very proud of that. I am a mother, as you mentioned, Tanner, of a beautiful 7-year-old little girl, whose name is Adelena, who would love to be on camera, by the way. And she'll probably be upset that I did this without her after the fact when she sees this. So we might have to do it again with her.
Yeah,
But
she can do guest appearance. That's fine.
great. Okay. Well, she's not here currently, but next time, next time.
Okay. Okay.
The first and foremost, most important job I have is mommy. But I'm also a cancer survivor. I survived leukemia when I was 14 years old and have since met very many people who have impacted my life, let alone the journey of cancer itself, how it's impacted my life, and get to share my story now through many different platforms. This podcast being one, and I volunteer my time with an organization called Teen Cancer America, where we build hospital wards for teens and young adults that are fighting life-threatening illnesses to provide community and to provide better services for them, and just better tailored and teach doctors how to speak to this classification of our age groups. And so I am really proud to do that. It's really fulfilling for me, and I get to help so many and meet so many others like myself and relate to them, and also help a lot of families and build awareness. And it's a big, huge part of my life. And so that's currently what I'm up to. Yes.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible. So you said 7 years old, is that right? When did that start for you?
Leukemia, when I was 14. I was
When you were
14.
14 years old. And could you walk us through just a little bit? So at 14, you would have most likely been a freshman in high school.
Right. Yes.
And okay, yeah.
I was a freshman in high school, and 10 week report cards has just come out. I was really, actually, my dream at the time, and still today, however, things are a little bit different now that I'm a mom. But my dream at that time was really to be an actress and a model from a very young age, because my mom was a model when I was growing up as well. And I have family members that were actresses. I was actually speaking to your producer before you got on, and was talking about my great aunt from Mexico, who was a famous actress. Her name was La Chocolata. And so anyway, I had this
Wow.
creativity in my bones, in my blood, and I was just going full force for it, uh, going on auditions for agencies. And I got my first call back, my first night in the hospital.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
I found out I was diagnosed with leukemia. Yes. And so from that point on, it was just a matter of I had this conversation with myself that the next step for me was just to take this full on, full force, and
Hmm.
beat it. And
Hmm.
that was the only option.
Do you remember at 14 years old as a freshman in high school, and I'm sure you were probably more intellectually advanced as like maybe a 17 or 18-year old, I would just imagine because you seem very smart. Do you remember like feeling um, like did you even understand the gravity of that? Or were you just like, what does this have to do? I don't care, just give me what I need to do to beat this. Like I have acting to do, I have modeling to do. I don't care about this. Or was it like, oh, this is serious, this is life changing?
It was very serious. It was
Mm,
extremely serious. At that time, I had been feeling so many physical ailments that led me to that point of my diagnosis, in which case I, was experiencing severe headaches, nausea. I was falling asleep in school, not able to finish my homework, nausea at the dinner table, taking only a couple bites here and there, feeling dizzy. I lost a ton of weight. I was getting sick, like colds, every month or every couple weeks. And I just felt just something so heavy over me, but I didn't tell anybody for a very long time, except my dog. I had a dog that I told everything to. I talked to her. She was my little companion, and she, however, knew, but nobody else did. So I was
and
just going
she
through this.
probably knew for a long time too. Dogs can pick up on those types of things.
Things, right? Yes,
Hmm.
actually, a very interesting story with her as well on this topic. But um, I just knew that something wasn't right, and it was more than just a cold, right? There was a point in time when my legs were just covered in bruises, and my mom wanted to take me to the doctor to get a checkup and see what was going on. And it was so severe, and I was scared also that I told her we should wait until the bruises went away because I didn't want the doctors to think that she was beating me or something like that, which crazy that my mind would go there, but I think I was just in denial at the time, right? It wasn't until the day my mother actually took me to the hospital to get that checkup where I couldn't even stand up straight. I could barely breathe. My spleen was inflamed, and that's another really big sign of leukemia as well.
Hmm.
And so at that point, I mean, I could barely, she practically had to carry me in because I was fainting every other step. I couldn't walk, I could barely
Wow.
breathe. And so when they finally told me that I had leukemia, it rocked my world. I knew,
Mm.
like, wow, damn, this is bad. This is really
Especially, yeah, I mean, you're a freshman in high school, right? Because I remember when I
yeah.
was a freshman, like you actually do feel like you're like an adult. Like you feel like you know what's going on. Like life is like it's a good
Mhm.
age. Like you're in that adolescence age where you're obviously all your life's ahead of you. So, man, I can't even imagine. So that happened at 14. How long was the that journey throughout high school?
Well,
That
you also
yeah.
you touched on something. You feel like like you're gaining so much independence at that age, right? At
Mm-hmm.
14, your teen years, you're going through so many changes to visibly and just mentally, and finding what you like, figure out who you are, right? Your music type, your clothing, how you like to style yourself, and it was just such an identity, like it was like crazy switch, right? You go from that to uh, and I'm sure many adults can relate to this now as well, going through really hard times like in the hospital and things like this. But you're having to rely on somebody or other people for everything at that point.
Mm,
So
mm,
I went from being so independent, and I was always involved in so many activities as well growing up. I
mm-hmm.
was really active and just did my homework was like great, easy for me. I was like that type A, like, let me do my homework, let me get it done. Okay, let's go play, let's go dance, let's go do all my things that I'm doing. And
Mm.
then I'm in the hospital in a bed, unable to move, and can barely speak, right? Can't brush my own teeth, can't take my own showers. You're going through all these physical changes as well, going through puberty, right? Now your mother has to bathe you for the first time in since you were a child, right? And it's just this such a humbling moment and a vulnerable moment to go through, um, where you're kind of also now you're figuring out this whole side of things. You're still figuring yourself out in your own body, and then now
Mm-hmm.
you're figuring out that now there's cancer, and now there's and then you also go through this. I went through the sense of feeling like a burden, to my family. I don't know where this comes from really, but I just remember I felt bad for them to have to take care of me. I felt bad that I had to
Mm,
put life on hold, right? Um,
mm-hmm.
which is such a horrible place for a young teenager to be, where you're like fighting a life-threatening illness, right?
Yeah.
Um, but that journey
Wow.
lasted about 2.5 years. I went through chemotherapy intravenously, and I had two portacaths, two surgeries for two different portacaths at the time. I had the PICC line at first, then my veins were collapsing, and then they had to move it. They did the surgeries for the portacath. That's where they stick a little butterfly needle and access you here to give
Mm,
you your transfusions. And my first week in the hospital, I'll say I received over 8 units of blood, trying to get. They couldn't actually start my treatment until my blood counts were at a certain level, because chemo at that time, it's changed a lot now. There's been a lot of advancements, which is wonderful if you have to get that treatment. However, at that
mm-hmm.
time, chemo just obliterated everything in its path, good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't start that treatment until I had enough blood for it to kill off and still keep me alive, in a sense, right? So I was just fighting this time battle as well. But yes, did I answered your question? Yes, 2.5 years about
Oh my
total.
gosh.
Yes, yeah, I lost my
I
hair.
don't even, I can't even like imagine. I mean, obviously, like I'm going through my journey and everything, and everybody, people have their own journeys, but to be able to go through such a life-changing and life-threatening thing during the high school years, I mean, yeah, I can definitely obviously know that you were definitely feeling like, why me? Did you have a faith at that time? Were you guys very, yeah.
Yes, another great touching point there. Actually, both of those things you just said were constantly on my mind, right? Why me? Why me was like a big thing at that time. Why me? Why me? Why me? It was just such a horrible, horrible experience, feeling like you're trapped in your own body, and almost seeing it from like a third person's view, like a fly on the wall. It's like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a fly on the wall watching everything happen in front of me and not being able to do anything about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, my faith, I did grow up, with faith, but at that time, I was so angry with God.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't wrap my mind around why this was happening to me. I, I was so talking to myself in these conversations, also because I could barely have conversations out loud. So I had a lot of internal conversations at that time. Was, I volunteer, I do all these things, I try to be the best person that I can be. Why would this happen to me, right? But even though I was angry with God at that moment in time, my parents, they did have a very, very great faith for me. And we prayed every day. I still prayed every day, even though I was so angry and upset. But there were a couple of really close calls for me in the hospital where they weren't sure if I was going to make it through the night. And they had brought, a pastor to come in and pray over me and pray with my family. And at that time, I couldn't speak. I was like I was trapped. I felt like I was in a coma. I was like comatose, couldn't open my eyes. I could hear everything going on, but I couldn't answer questions. I couldn't speak. And my parents, after everything has gone on, years later, they shared with me that both of them, unknowingly, at that time, after the pastor prayed over me in my room, they both left the room. Each of them went to their own, women's and men's restroom, went into a stall, fell to their knees in prayer, and it gets me choked up every time. But excuse me. yeah, they prayed that, for God to, if it was God's will for me to continue to live a full life, that they could understand the suffering that I'd have to go through to get there, but that if it was God's will to take me at any point throughout this journey, to take me that night so that I didn't have to suffer, right? So sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah. And, I'm here, I'm still here today. So what a wonderful, like the biggest blessing that I could have ever received from God.
That,
Whew.
that's giving me like full body chills right now. Um,
Yes, 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 yes.
wow.
And my faith is really strong today. I really, I still don't know exactly why, right? Why it all happened, but I know that it's made me very strong. It's made me a very strong woman, and it has taught me a lot about myself and also just how to take things one day at a time.
Mm,
And that's what I did from that point on. I told myself to take it one day at a time and even slower, one moment at a time,
mm,
you know,
absolutely.
and that'll get
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing those details.
absolutely.
Wow. So I know personally from this is why I like having people on and talking to other people that have went through very significant trials
Mhm.
because to be honest, we all do have our trials and there's no need to compare anything, but there's obviously some people that go through very life challenging trials like yourself, and especially you at a young age. But I have no doubt um, that God's plan,
Mhm.
meaning everything truly does happen for a reason. So
Yeah,
clearly, look at you now, right? Like you have a child, you're beautiful, you're doing these things, you're helping so many people,
thank you.
and you're only going to probably help more, and you're still young, so you're going to do more.
Hmm.
What's interesting to look at is that fire, that forge in the fire season, that God takes his strongest warriors and the ones he's going to do something major and impactful with and puts them through. And it's like still as a human, it's like not fair. Like, because right, like for even me
Yeah,
in my circumstance, I would never have chosen this. Heck no.
right.
Like, my situation.
I don't
Right. So
know. I don't fully know what's going on. What? Tell me.
yes, yeah, and this is great. This is why I wanted to be able to do this because us getting to know each other a little bit here, like so is everybody else who is, ever finds this, right?
Right.
Um, so obviously you met me. So Alyssa and I met at the set of the Go Fund Yourself show, which is in Los Angeles, and I would like to actually probably drop the link to that episode on this podcast so people can watch it because my goal with that message so that show is basically like a Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs will pitch their ideas to investors. However, it was created a spinoff for kind of more mission-driven business ideas that are going to make a good impact on the world. And come to find out that I was actually the first nonprofit to go on that show because I told them from the beginning that my business pitch, I'm not really selling something other than
Mhm.
what I'm trying to sell. And what I was really using that for was an opportunity to spread a message to try to impact people. So my real ask was if my message resonates with you, to share it forward, send it to somebody who might resonate, right? And then hopefully that reaches a lot of people and makes an impact. And then I believe with all the business stuff that I'm doing and God has put on my heart, which I'm fully in my purpose, the money stuff will come, right? But the more people we reach, it's not really about that. So I didn't have a traditional business pitch on that. But make sure to click on the link on this episode here. But so to tell a little bit about me, because you saw me in a wheelchair, right? So
I'll share. Hmm.
yeah, so I'll be sky level overview here, but let's see. So I was military. So I'm from small town Iowa, and military brought me out to California in 2017, and I spent 6 years active duty. And fitness prior to the military, especially, and then in the military, even more so, and then after the military, even more so, was definitely like a core pillar of my identity. Meaning, at the time of my accident, which is March 15th, 2024, I was 30 days away from completing. Have you heard of 75 Hard, Andy Frisella's program?
I've heard of it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, which is actually a mental toughness training program.
Oh,
And but a lot of people associate it with the fitness benefits from it because coincidentally you will, feel great, you'll lose weight, etc. But the Live Hard program is a year-long program. That 75 Hard is the first portion of it, and then phase one is 30 days, and there's like three more things. Phase two is 30 days, three more things, phase three, and it's over the course of a year. So basically, I was 30 days away from finishing that. I was about 2 years post separation from the military. I was working as a park ranger, and I was going to school at the time. I was actually commissioned into the Navy chaplain program. So I was actually supposed to be possibly rejoining the Navy as a chaplain to help and serve people in a spiritual manner. Not so much, that's a whole long story about my background with like chaplaincy, faith, and all those things. But anyways, I was doing really, really well as far as I thought. Like, because when I got out of the military, I went through unexpectedly a lot of mental health challenges.
mm,
Like I was experiencing anxiety attacks and panic attacks. I mean, like actual
mm,
panic attack where I'm ashamed to say it, but also not really because we're all human.
yes.
But because I'm somebody who always considered myself very mentally strong. I mean, I was training to be a Navy SEAL for like 6 years and like doing mental toughness things. But, when I had first separated from the military, I went through this season where like I was out in public and I literally had a panic attack in public all alone in Huntington Beach, California, which I'm still a little traumatized with Huntington Beach.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's where you're from. I think I told you this. I shared
You
that
know
with
what?
you briefly.
You did mention this briefly. Yes, yes. It's where I live. It's not where I'm from, though. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm gonna, like I said, I don't believe in right. Like if I have a fear association with Huntington Beach, then we need to go back and relive it and change the story on it. But basically, I was actually in chaplaincy school
Mm,
and going through some things, right? Because when I got out of the military, I was actually not only did I get out of the military, which was my identity for so long, and I knew that I was going to be lost, I was okay with that. Like, I was okay with understanding that I don't know exactly the path forward. I'm on a
mm,
path. I don't know if I'm going to do this path, but at least I'm doing stuff. But I was kind of lost. My very serious girlfriend that I thought I was going to marry and have kids and move in dumped
mm.
me. So it was just like, a tough time, and I found out some things very close to the Huntington Beach time to where I had like a month break from school where I kind of went and was acting out. Like I was, I
Mm.
rode motorcycles a lot, and I was just kind of going all around, seeing friends all up and down the coast and drinking like every night, just casually, but that adds up. So after like day six of
Yeah.
doing that, I
Oh,
was in Huntington Beach, like I said, and I ended up having a panic attack that I could not control, like in a public Walgreens. And I'm not kidding, like I had to call like an ambulance
oh,
because, or they basically called it for me. I didn't want them to. I thought I'd be able to just get through it, but it was just so uncontrollable. So that
wow.
just led me down like a huge journey of, mental health and spiritual growth and meditation and just trying all these holistic things. And so, fast forward about a year and a half later, I was finally overcoming a lot of that and feeling really good. Like I said, I was in really good fitness shape. I was about to go run like a 50-mile race thing. And on my way to work, March 15th, 2024, is when I was in a head on collision with a semi truck on my way to work. And I was actually supposed to uh, go on like a backpacking trip that weekend with friends. But yeah, I didn't make it to work. So it was me and my two girls, my two baby girl dogs. And I was then from that, woke up 2 days later pretty much in the ICU, paralyzed waist down. And that obviously changed everything. So I spent about 3.5 months in the hospital. At first, I had no movement below the waist. And then, like you said, you can relate to this, like going from somebody who's always been so independent to now literally needing people to do everything, especially then, because I had absolutely no movement from the waist down. So they had to roll me every 2 hours because pressure sores, which, by the
Oh,
way, everybody, that is why I'm in the hospital right now because I still have pressure injuries from back then that still have not healed.
oh no.
So that is why I'm doing the extreme measures of just like pretty much I'm not allowed to really sit, but I am sitting on my side right now. And I'm not allowed to stand because I have three pressure injuries, one in my tailbone and two in my feet. But back then, yeah, so that was a crazy hard
Wow.
journey, right? Um and then but I've come a long ways since then. And I know because you just met me recently, right? And obviously you see what I'm doing now. I'm on a podcast, like I'm starting a business. I don't know if you follow my social media. And
Right.
but at the time when it happened, and I know you relate to this because you just shared, but especially right like everything was going in a good direction, like I'm doing stuff of service, right? Like I'm wanting to possibly go rejoin the military as a chaplain. So why would I be paralyzed on my way to work? Why would you do that, God? you know
Yeah.
so I was definitely saying why me a lot, and it did not make any sense, and I was in a very dark place.
Mm,
And that was mainly because when I did finally get out of the hospital, I went back home and I lived all alone with my dog. So I was pretty isolated. But that is what's put me on the journey I'm on now, which I had the wherewithal to move from way out in the country back to San Diego to like the town, because I knew that if I can move back into town, that the VA and nonprofits and there's all these community resource programs that I
right.
can go get plugged into.
Right.
So thank God I did that, because when I moved back into town, I got plugged in through the Paralyzed Veterans of America into like the YMCA disabled veteran program and an equine therapy program and some other programs. That through that, it was about December, a couple days prior to Christmas of last year, that the light switch kind of turned on to where I got the vision that has put me what I'm doing now. And it just gave me new life and understanding that these programs like that brought me new life, brought me new community, and picked me up from the ashes. Like that is what I want to create. So
Mhm.
that is kind of everything that I've been working on. But I was able to go from the wheelchair to a walker to two canes to one cane to uh, walking with the use of braces. Like if I were wearing pants, people would have no idea necessarily,
Mhm.
but basically like my calf muscles and like my ankles and that stuff like doesn't work. But my quads, they came back a lot. So with the help of braces, I'm usually able to walk around. But
That's great.
because of because of all these injuries, that's why I'm back in a chair because I'm not allowed to heal. So yeah,
See. Oh, that's so tough. My goodness.
yeah,
Uh, how are you feeling right now? Like being back in
yeah.
and
Well, I am. It's all about perspective. It's all about choice, right? So, um, right, like I feel good. So I'm going to answer saying I feel good, meaning like I'm excited because I'm choosing to focus on 3 weeks from now when I leave this place because I'm going to be healed. I'm coming up on the best spring and summer San Diego yet. It's going to be beautiful. I have so many amazing, exciting things coming up. I'm moving. Literally, once I get out of here, I'm
oh,
moving. I'm getting rid of all my stuff, moving to an amazing new location. I'm in the middle of planning a very large scale like event that I believe will be historical in San Diego. There's just a lot of exciting things to look forward to. So even though it does suck right now, because I have not left my bed, except for today, I'm breaking the rules. I have not left my bed for 3 weeks. So for somebody like me who likes to usually run and like just, be out and about, get sunlight, like it is miserable if I choose to be miserable, but that's the beautiful thing. It's a choice.
It's a choice. I agree. I agree. Yeah, my dad always says you have to change the channel. If you don't like what you're watching, change the channel. That's what he tells me. I said,
Mm. And that's such a powerful message right there. Like that little thing that we're talking about, that is like a clip, right? We talked about some clips because
that's right.
we all have stuff, but like I don't understand. I mean, it's unfortunate that some people either just have not understood the power of just choosing, or they
Mhm.
just truly don't, do they just want to be miserable? I don't know, but
Yes.
perspective is everything.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I understand too, for some people it may take time to learn how to change that channel, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
once
yeah,
you
yeah.
learn to change it, it's a lot better. It's much
That's
better.
so true. That's so true.
Yes.
And that's something that, right. And to be gracious with like trying to help people like that too, because, as when we go through those hard times, it's not easy to change the channel.
Sometimes you
Like,
can't find the remote,
mm-hmm.
right? And
That's
you
that's
can't,
a good,
right? I mean, it's
that's
a good
good.
analogy, isn't it? It's like sometimes
Hey,
you
that is me right there to a T. Just little shout out like to my roommate Justin. Right, so I have a Roku remote, those little tiny like remotes, right?
right.
And I like never watch TV, and but it's a treat when I do because I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna turn on something on Netflix, Hulu, I don't know. And I think it was what was that last holiday? What would it have been? New Year's Eve, maybe? Maybe New Year's Eve. I don't know. But I
Okay.
was at home. I think one of the holidays I was kind of just working through the holiday. My family's not here, so I was just chilling with my dogs. And I was gonna watch a movie, and we had just literally like 2 days prior to this tore apart the living room trying to find
Mm.
this darn remote that always just is never there.
This is
Whenever you
great.
want it, it's gone. So we had just found it, and this man just left for Texas, so he's nowhere to be found now. And I know that he was the last one. So Justin, if you hear this, he was the last one who used it, and I could not find it. I tore my house apart for 45 minutes. I was so upset. But hold on real quick. Oh,
Sure.
okay. I'm sorry. But yeah, that was a good one. Not being able to find the remote. That's a very real challenge. But the beautiful
Mhm.
thing, here's another analogy, is the there's ways to make it to where you never lose the remote. Because guess what I did? I downloaded the Roku app on my phone,
On your
so I
phone.
never lose that thing.
That is amazing.
So
I love that how they
so
did.
a
It
nat
was smart to do it.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. And I think an analogy actually that we can circle that to real life is, and this is something I'm sure you've learned if you do any meditation or anything, but
Mhm.
okay, let me ask you, this is just a test. There's no right or wrong answer here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thinking about that analogy of not being able to find the remote, but so downloading to your phone, what is a tool that we always have with us to where we don't ever have to rely on any external to just like kind of center ourselves? I'm going to try to give you hints here.
Okay. Okay. Well, breath. Breath.
Bingo! Like I told you, good job. Yes,
Is that it?
right.
All right.
Yes, 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 yes. So what I learned through that like mental health struggle that I was going through, right, was like learning how to meditate, learning how to
Mhm.
use my breath.
Right.
And what, every meditation teacher or anybody that teaches breath work, I'm sorry, I'm like getting a phone call, even though my phone's on Wi-Fi, but it's going through or airplane mode. It's going through the computer.
No worries.
But um is the fact is that we always have our breath, right? So there is no losing the remote. As long as we're alive, we can breathe. And what I learned, and it's so real, it's so true, is our we cannot multitask. Our minds cannot multitask, even though we all think that we can. What we're all really doing, if we are multitasking, is just switching between things very, very quickly, right? But really, we can only think about one thing at a time.
Mhm.
So if you're going through having negative thoughts or sad thoughts or anxious or
Mhm.
sad, if you switch that to just focusing on your breath, that's all you can choose to focus on. Now, our monkey minds are going to go back to that, but then just be gracious and bring it back to the breath. And then eventually, we're able to actually just focus on the breath to where that just goes. And the way I like to look at it is like the clouds, just going by, and then
Right.
eventually they pass. And it's just so powerful, and it's something that I need to personally even still like tap into so much more.
Me too.
Like
Yeah, I worked a lot on my breath as well. And I actually have a really amazing person in my life who is a breath work instructor, and she coaches, on breath work. And actually, I'm here at her house today. Um,
oh
yes, that's probably why that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said that. It's like, I'm like, breath,
yeah,
breath, Yes. But it's something that you continuously have to practice, right?
hmm
Centered, because it's easy to get distracted. Super easy.
hmm oh yeah, oh I mean, and that is the world wants us to be distracted though. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
that's
with
right.
all with all the apps and TikTok and this and that, and it's just
Oh, God.
crazy.
Call me here, call me there. It's like I can't keep up. Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, like my phone is literally on airplane mode right now. That means don't talk to me. But guess what? I still am getting a gosh darn call from my
Call.
computer. It's like, how do I stop this madness?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's so true.
But yeah, that's so cool. Well, right on. So let's see. So what are you primarily doing nowadays? I know that you said that you volunteer with cancer a group that helps cancer people. And then what else does that kind of look like for you as far as what you're working on, what are future goals, stuff like that?
Well, I really do want to work on being a source for people who, well, I'll say this, cancer doesn't just affect the individual, right, that's afflicted. It affects those around you as well. And I want to also be a source for those that have been affected on those, outlying that ring around the person that has been afflicted. Because a lot of times people don't know how to approach or how to deal with it, how to cope with it. And it really affects you on a really deep level. And a lot of times they don't know how to speak to the person that's going through it as well either, right? Or what's
Yeah.
okay to say, what's not okay to say. Is it okay to tell them how they feel? Is it not okay? So I want to also just provide a space for people, to reach out if they need any advice or anything like that, or want to be connected to any of the organizations that I do work with, to see what if hospitals are affiliated or any, take advantage of those resources that we help provide. Um, you guys,
hmm
you guys can reach me through my email. It's alysstiff@gmail.com, alysstiff@gmail.com. And aside from that, currently I'm uh, working on finding a good fit for myself as far as paying the bills goes, because, when I met you, I did mention I recently redirected, right? And what the line of work that I was in really didn't fit with who I am and what I stand for and what I want to do with my daily life. So this is an opportunity for me. I'm choosing to look at it as an opportunity, right? I could be really down in the dumps, and sometimes I am, I'm not gonna lie, but
hmm
I'm
Oh
choosing to
yeah.
see it as an opportunity to find what a really good fit for myself and to be a good role model for my daughter as well. So I'm looking forward to, making new connections and really just exploring what that looks like for me moving forward.
Amazing. Yeah. And I know that, like you said, just like the reason that I'm stuck in this.
Yes.
You and I both, right? Like we've been through so much that we know that seasons are for a reason. So at least I have that much faith. So I know that the best is that. after this. I know that we needed to start
Yes.
with just connecting, and why not do it on a podcast? But there's definitely going to be a lot of resources there that are helping like America's heroes, like veterans, first responders, law enforcement, and we're going to get as many there as possible. So we can definitely see how we can, you know, get you plugged in even more. And any opportunity that comes in from me that I think of you, I'll pass to you, of course.
Thank you.
So yeah, well, I know we're almost coming up on our time here,
Yeah.
but is there any what is the biggest lesson that you think that you've learned through like going through what you went through, and then obviously we didn't even talk about motherhood and the challenges that come with all that.
Yeah.
So what's like maybe one or two of the biggest lessons that you've learned so far? I guess I know that's kind of a hard question, but
Yes, I really think, and I touched on it a little bit before, but I see it more and more through telling my story and just I am in a season of redirection right now, and there's been a lot more through life that I've gone through, aside from just cancer, right? But that's like a whole nother few hours we have to do that. We don't have the time now. But
uh-huh,
uh,
uh-huh,
I will say that having gone through leukemia at that time, it really did teach me how to slow down and take it one moment at
uh-huh,
a time and just focus. It's almost just like focusing on your breath, right? I didn't really know
uh-huh,
that time. I really wish I had
uh-huh,
tool in my, in my arsenal. But
uh-huh.
taking it one moment at a time and just focusing on that literal moment and
Awareness,
um,
right?
yes, awareness and just knowing that I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take it one step at a time, right? I'm going to keep moving forward. And it really just brought this undeniable optimism into my life that even
Mm,
though I may not always feel it, I always somehow carry it with me anywhere I go. And people have told me how much that impacts them. And in hearing that, it impacts me. Right. So it's just this optimism, this unfailing optimism. And I mean, I give it all to God as well. But God really, really taught me how to just keep moving forward and just take it one moment at a time.
I love that. I love that. And that is such a great close to this conversation because, as you know, or if you don't remember, but the new name of my show and my brand is called, oh, what is it called? It's brand new and now I'm blanking. We can cut this out, Charles. The Forward Standard. The Forward Standard.
It's
This
the
is
forward.
literally brand new. We just thought about this yesterday. Okay, so we can leave it in there. We can cut it out because what is not brand new is my organization and everything we're doing, which is Ready and Forward, which is a 501c6. It's a 501c3. It's a movement. It's a large scale activations to then restore historic landmarks and help and heal a lot of people. And now my personal brand is the Forward Standard. And as Alyssa just said, the only thing we can do is continue to move forward. And that is my goal, to help Americans move forward, because I don't feel like we're doing very well right now as a country. And I think that people like us who have went through things, we have a lot to be able to share to hopefully help make that process happen easier for everybody. So thank you for
Thank
joining me today, Alyssa.
thank you for having me and thank you for your service and sharing more about yourself as well. And I'll be praying
Yes.
for you. You get out of
Yeah,
there quick.
thank you. Yeah, I think March 8th is the goal. So that's the plan. And then I'm literally heading straight to Phoenix, Arizona to go pick up my new home,
Oh,
which we
that's
didn't even
great. Amazing.
because I'm going full entrepreneur mode and I'm living in an RV, and I'll talk about that more some other time. So it's going to be so
Congratulations.
amazing. But
Congrats.
and then thank you so much, thank you so much. But yes, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you and talking more, and we'll definitely get together in San Diego and Huntington Beach so I can relive that
There
bad trauma memory.
there you go. Yes. Good memories.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
All right, well, maybe
thank
next time your daughter can join us.
Okay, yeah, she would love to.